You've raised your child the best you could. Now your child is of age and ready to go out into the real world. You've given them a great environment. You've provided them the right education and morals and ethics. I suppose good data, if you like. Now you hope they behave themselves, and you hope that the education and values that you've trained them with are enough. But they're their own person and they're going to make their own decisions. Well, in a way, your AI deployment is just like that, because unlike traditional software where you provide an input and you get the expected outcome and it can't self-learn or change, it's what we call deterministic. Your AI solution can do just that. It can learn and it can adapt and it can behave in unexpected ways. It's what we call a predictive model. And that's why if we're not prepared and monitoring what happens once we go live, we're not in control. And if we're not watching closely, it could quietly become inaccurate, unethical, non-compliant, and just downright dangerous. Hey friends, I'm Ahmed. I help professionals deliver enterprise AI solutions in non-AI native organizations. And in this series, we're applying the EU AI Act to the 10 steps of the AI delivery lifecycle, one step at a time. So we can each do our part to responsibly build the world we want to live in. So let's go through those steps. Now, in previous videos in this series, we in step 1 frame the problem, step 2 define the use case, step 3 assess the data and its readiness, in step 4 we cover the solution design and approach, in step 5 we formed the team and got ready, in step 6 and 7 in a single video we covered model delivery and validation, in step 8 we covered productionization and deployment, in step 9 we covered post-deployment adoption, especially the handover, and today in the final video in this series we are covering the live operational monitoring and sustained evolution, where AI systems are either hardened into long-term value or quietly slide into decay. By the end of this lesson, you'll know the 7 essential steps for operational monitoring and evolution, which EU articles actually matter, and how to build robust, responsible feedback loops that keep your model safe, smart, and aligned. For those who are new, I always use the AI Act Explorer. Link is on the screen and on YouTube in the description below. AI systems are not static. They drift, they degrade, and they can quietly fail without noticing. The EU AI Act mandates ongoing monitoring and post-market control for high-risk AI systems. But even if you don't fall under the Act, this phase is critical for maintaining trust, performance, and relevance. And there are 4 key articles that apply to this stage. Article number 9 is risk management, which requires a continuous iterative risk management process across the entire life cycle, and especially includes or also includes the post-live operating life cycle stage. So that's the risk, Article 9, risk management. Article 15, accuracy, robustness, and cybersecurity. Again, this applies to the entire life cycle, and especially we need to make sure this remains true once we've gone live. Article 72 is about post-market monitoring. What is the type of monitoring, the real-world tracking of performance we need to do once we've gone live? That's what that covers. And Article 73 talks about the responsibilities for reporting when serious incidents actually occur. Okay, so now let's have a look at the 7 steps that we have for effective monitoring of our models and how each of these 4 articles apply to each stage. So let's go through that now. So first of all, we're reviewing and monitoring our baselines. You may have already done this in the last step, but if you've not, this is where we define the KPIs, the thresholds, and what good looks like. This is covered in Article 9 and Article 15. Then we want to have a look at the operational feedback loops. We want to make sure that we are capturing feedback and signals from our users, logs, and our business teams. And this refers to Article 72, which outlines what kind of monitoring we need to do. Continuous technical monitoring is the third thing that we're looking at, and this is where we're monitoring any drift, our infrastructure health, any performance or resilience issues. This is where we monitor all of those. Article 15, which is around the accuracy, robustness, and cybersecurity, and 72 apply over here. And the risk and ethical oversight make sure that we're reviewing the safety, explainability, and we're making sure it's not doing any harm. So that's Article 72 that's relevant. And then we want to be looking at the retraining and the model updates, because when our model gets updated, the architecture might need to change as well. We may need to retrain and retune some of our plumbing that we've got. And so this is where we might be needing to make those changes over there. So there's Article 9 and Article 15. Let me just come around the other way. And then for step number 6, the lifecycle governance, we've got 3 articles apply over here. Risk management, because this is around the overall governance of the overall operations of the model. So Article 9 is going to apply over here, which is the risk management. Article 72, post-market monitoring, and Article 73, which is reporting of the serious incidents. Okay, finally, we've got strategic evolution over here, and this is where we're assessing and checking that we've got our models working the way we want, and we want to make sure that we continue it for as long as necessary, but then we think about scaling it and then eventually sunset and retiring it. And so that's Article 9, risk management, and Article 72, which is the post-market monitoring. Okay, so there you have it, 7 steps, 4 different articles. This is how we want to make sure that when we are live, we have a compliant operating model in place. Here's a question for you. If your AI model is still making decisions 6 months from now, who in your organization would know first if it started drifting, failing, or harming users, and how quickly could you act on it? Okay, so in summary, deployment is not the finish line. In many ways, it's the start of live responsibility. So the monitoring sustained evolution has 7 stages that we've just covered, and the EU AI Act requires the teams to build this discipline through the Articles 9, 15, 72, and 73 that we have just covered. Now, without this loop, the AI systems can degrade, create risks, and expose organizations to fines and reputational harm. Now, across this entire series, we've seen how the EU AI Act is not just legal text, but it's a delivery playbook. Each lifecycle stage of AI delivery, from problem framing, use case definition, all the way to the end, has many touch points, regulatory touch points. And at its core, the Act demands clear ownership, strong documentation, continuous management, transparent design choices, robust monitoring, and last but not least, accountability for outcomes. Now, for non-AI native enterprises, this is your chance to build trust and maturity, to prove your AI is not only powerful, but also is safe, responsible, sustainable, so that we can all rely on it. So the Act is a compliance requirement, but in actual fact, if you think about it, it's more than that. It's a catalyst for doing AI delivery correctly. So, all in all, that concludes our EU AI Act series, giving you both the regulatory map and the delivery compass to navigate AI responsibly in the real world. And I hope you found that useful. Now, next week, we are going to be starting a brand new series, bringing real clarity on how to introduce AI into your enterprise. So hit subscribe and the bell notification, and I'll see you next week. Take care. Goodbye.